Choosing the wrong credit card can be a mistake that follows you for years. And with so much complicated information out there, it's completely understandable if you don't feel ready to get your first credit card. That said, having the right credit card comes with some major benefits, like building your credit score, protecting yourself against fraud, and earning rewards such as cashback or travel miles. In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about getting your first credit card so you can feel confident you're making the right decision. And if you're just looking for a specific recommendation, I've got you covered. I'll link a separate video in the description below. So let's get started. First things first, a credit card lets you pay for things using borrowed money. When you use a credit card, the money doesn't come directly out of your bank account. Instead, the bank that issued your card pays for the purchase on your behalf, with the expectation that you'll pay them back later. That's why banks look at your credit score and income before approving you. They want to be confident they'll get their money back. And if you don't pay off what you owe at the end of the month, you'll be charged a very high interest rate, which is the last thing you want. When you're comparing credit card offers, there are only 5 things you really need to focus on. The first is the annual fee. Some credit cards charge a yearly fee just to keep the card open. While there are good cards with annual fees, I strongly recommend avoiding them for your first credit card. Your first card has the biggest impact on your credit score, and if you later decide you don't want a card with an annual fee, you'll be stuck either closing it, which can hurt your credit, or continuing to pay for a card you no longer want. The second thing to look at is the APR, or annual percentage rate. This is the interest rate you'll pay if you don't pay off your balance in full each month. A PR is usually shown as a range because it depends on your credit score, and you won't know your exact rate until you're approved. Technically, APR doesn't matter if you always pay your balance in full, but it's still important to understand the cost of carrying a balance. Third, check whether the card has a foreign transaction fee. This is an extra charge applied when you use your card outside your home country. For some people, this is a big deal. For others, it won't matter at all. It really depends on how often you travel internationally. Fourth, you'll want to understand the rewards. Not all credit cards offer rewards, but those that do usually fall into 2 categories. The first is ongoing rewards, like cashback or points earned from spending. The second is a sign-up bonus, which is typically a cash or points bonus you receive after spending a certain amount within the first few months. The fifth and final thing to consider is which bank is issuing the card. This is something many people overlook, but it can completely shape your experience. I like to break banks into 3 tiers. A-tier banks offer great credit cards and strong customer service. These include Discover, American Express, and Chase. Discover and American Express consistently rank very high in customer satisfaction, while Chase earns its spot thanks to its excellent credit card options. B-tier banks are more middle of the road. They're not amazing, but they're not terrible either. You'll generally be fine with these, just don't expect outstanding support when you need help. C-tier banks are ones you'll usually want to avoid. These banks tend to score poorly in customer experience and often make money by charging unexpected fees. Credit One is a good example. It even uses a name and logo similar to Capital One, which causes a lot of confusion, even though they're completely different companies. Once you've evaluated those 5 factors and found a card you like, it's time to apply. Applying for a credit card can be stressful because approval isn't guaranteed. If you have little or no credit history, there's a good chance you'll get denied for many cards, something I personally experienced with my first application. That leads to the obvious question: how do you get a credit card if you need a credit score, but need a credit card to build a credit score? The answer is simple: you need a card designed for beginners. This usually means applying for either a student credit card or a secured credit card, depending on whether you're a student. I go more in depth on this in my recommendation video, but those are the key terms you should be looking for. The application process itself is pretty straightforward. You'll click an Apply Now button, fill out basic personal information, and provide details about your income. Sometimes you'll get approved instantly. Other times you'll have to wait a week or two to receive a letter telling you whether you were approved or